y'all, Connie here. Welcome to your crash course in the double crochet stitch. Are you ready? So here we have a starting chain of 12 stitches. We're going to have a total of 10 stitches, 10 double crochets at the end of our work. So I'm turning this over. I'm going to work into the back bumps of this chain, and I'm going to skip the first 3 chains and work my first stitch into the 4th chain from the hook. So to do our double crochet, I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook from front to back, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that is our first double crochet, and you can see here those 3 chains that we skipped gives us the height of that row. It's functioning as our turning chain, and it's also going to function as our first double crochet. So let's continue on across. Yarn over, insert your hook, whoops, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that's all there is to the double crochet stitch. The double crochet is a very popular stitch. A lot of my students who come to me who are picking crocheting back up, that's the only stitch that they remember. So you see it in granny squares, shell patterns. You see it a lot in baby blankets as well. It's a pretty popular stitch because it works up so quickly. So here we've got just a couple stitches left to get to the end of this row. Here's our last one. We don't want to forget it. There we go. And now we should have 10 stitches to include the chain 3 that we skipped at the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if you wanted to count the tops of your stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 double crochets plus the top of your turning chain 3 right there, because we're going to work our last stitch on the next row into that stitch right there. So traditionally, the double crochet uses a turning chain of 3, and that's what I'm showing you today. 1, 2, 3, and turn. And we're going to work into the top of this turning chain at the end of our next row. But remember that you can also change this. There are different techniques. You can do faux double crochets or stacked single crochets. There are a lot of different methods to change your starting chain if you don't like the way it looks. But like I said, traditionally, that is how it works. So that's what I want to start you with. Now, because this chain 3 starts as or counts as a double crochet, we're not going to work into our first stitch here. We're going to skip that. So we're going to work into the second stitch with our next double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook under both loops of the top of that double crochet, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And there we have our first 2 stitches. Let's do it again. Yarn over, insert your hook from front to back, yarn over, pull up a loop. You should have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that is all there is to the double crochet. Let's go on across to the end of this row really fast, because I want to show you how to work into the top of that turning chain as well. Now, if you like the turning chain, oops, I'm bringing a leaf along. If you like doing the turning chain instead of some fancy fake double crochet, but you don't like the space it gives you, try doing a chain 2 instead of a chain 3, and then not counting it as a stitch. That's just an option for you. Now we have 2 stitches left here. This is the top of our double crochet, and then here is our chain 3. So we're going to work 1 more double crochet in the top of that double crochet. And then our final, our 10th double crochet is actually going to be worked into the top of our chain 3 here. Now, you want to try and work under 2 loops if you can. Sometimes those chains, see here, see how small that other loop is? Sometimes it's hard to work under 2 loops, but it's going to give you a much more stable edge if you can get that hook under 2 loops instead of just 1. So we're going to complete the stitch just like we normally would. And now we should have 10 double crochets across our second row as well, again, including the chain 3 that we use at the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. And you see how your edges line up nicely. It's really easy to forget that starting chain, but if you do, you're going to have a little bump on the side. Your edges aren't going to line up nicely like they do when you put that last stitch in there. So just keep that in mind. If you find that you're losing stitches, make sure you're not dropping the stitch that should go into your turning chain. That's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this little crash course in the double crochet stitch, and I'll see you next time.